Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I can't fit him all in, but today's going to be the Pegasus unicorn. As you can see by his legs, he's going to be built in a continuous, we're not sewing the legs on, we're going to build him continuously. That includes the neck and the head are all not sewn on, they're all built continuously. So let's just jump right into this. I'm going to make this particular one pink and white. He was blue and white. So we're going to start with the legs. I'm going to do one with you, and then you can do the rest of them on your own. You're going to need a 5mm or an H hook. You're going to need a stitch marker. And obviously a pair of scissors. I don't think I need to tell you that. A row counter might be helpful as well. So we're going to start with whatever color you want the hoofs, the horn, and then as far as the wings and the hair, it's a combination of both colors. So you just need to decide what color you want your horse and your hoofs and stuff. And we're starting with that color. So you're going to make a magic ring. And you're going to put 6 single crochets in here. Pull that close. So we're building an amigurumi style as usual for my channel. So you're going to do 2 single crochets in each stitch around. We're just going to do the norm. So I'm just going to count to 12 instead of using my stitch marker, but if you're going to use a stitch marker, it goes in after the first stitch, not the second one. So this little strand tells me I'm back around to where I need to be. And I pull my mitter closed. Your next round is going to be 1 single crochet and an increase. This will bring you up to 18 stitches. So I can count 18 or I'll use my stitch marker. If it wasn't on camera, generally I would just count 3, 6, 9, you know. So 1 single crochet, and then your next stitch is an increase. So that sequence is a combination, adds up to 3. So that's why I go 3, 6, 9, 12, and on. And that's how I generally count. Stitch markers just get in my way. But for the video, and repeat this. So 1 single crochet, and an increase all the way around. For the next 3 rows, you're going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch. So next 3 rows, 1 single crochet in each stitch, and I will see you on the other side. So get your white. What the heck is going on with my white? Yeah, this might be a problem later on. So my white's all jacked up. But anyway, get your white. So we're going to change colors right now. to the white. So go in, pull up a loop. Don't finish that stitch. We're gonna finish, well, we're gonna finish the stitch. We're just gonna do it with the white. So just pull down on everything. You'll have to weave in a bit. So we're gonna do a 1 single crochet decrease. We've already done your number 1. You don't really need a stitch marker because it's a color change, but that's our first stitch. So your next stitch will be with your new color, and that'll be a decrease. And you're going to repeat that all the way around, and your decrease. So your decrease is you go into your first stitch, you pull up a loop. You go into your second stitch, you pull up a loop, and then you pull through all 3. So we're going to do that all the way around, and this brings you back down to 12 stitches. A little awkward with weaving, but this is the only part that we have to do this. We're going to be on white for quite a while. Well, I mean, other than your other legs. So I'm going to cut this pink off now that I'm just about back around. I don't need it anymore. I'll get that right out of there. I'm just going to stick my white down in there and be done with that too. So my last stitch, and from here your next 12 rows is just going to be 1 single crochet in each of these 12 stitches. So easy to remember, 12 rows, 12 stitches. This is where the row counter comes in handy. So don't forget to stuff along the way. And I will see you on the other side. So I am done my leg. If you start counting, you can see here where you did your color change. If you have 13 rows, then you've got you're right. Everything's right. I got 13. This is your 1 single crochet decrease, and this was your 12 rows of regular 1 single crochet in each stitch. So I stuffed mine as I went. Now I'm gonna let you go and do all your other 3 legs, and every single one of them you're gonna go into the next stitch, you're gonna fasten off, and all you need is a little bit of a sewing tail. That is it. So go ahead and make your 3 legs. Make sure you have sewing tails on every single one of them, and I'll see you on the other side. Alright, I got all my legs done. Got all my little sewing tails, and everything is stuffed the same, or close to it anyway. So let's set this aside. We're going to make what I call a body bridge. So it's just a very simple piece of yarn that we're going to crochet, or well, fabric. And then we're going to sew the legs to that body bridge. So don't be intimidated by this if there's any beginners out there, because it's pretty easy peasy. But do it in the color that you're doing your horse in. So you're just going to make a slip knot. And you're going to chain 21. That's my 21. So now you're going to do 20 single crochets back up to the top. That's my 20. You're going to chain 1 and turn. And you're going to do 20 single crochets, chain 1 and turn. You're going to do this for 4 rows. So, counting this row is 5 altogether. So 1 single crochet in each stitch, chain 1 and turn. 4 rows, and I will see you on the other side. So I am done my body bridge. I'm not fastening off. I need to keep that part. So you're going to need to get a needle of some sort. And then each of these legs is going to get sewn to each end. So then this, let me show you my other one, becomes this. Do you see what we're doing? So I use 4 stitches for each leg. So pretty easy peasy, just obviously align your thing up. You're going to use 4 stitches, so it doesn't matter which 4 stitches you use, you're just going to use 4. Mine is coming out of this section here, but I'm going to go over here and I'm going to pick up the first stitch. And then I'm going to go into where I just was, and I'm going to pick up the second stitch. So I'm just whip stitching. Now I'm going to go to the third stitch. I'm only doing 4. Then I'm going to do the 4th stitch. And that is it. That's how I'm going to do it. So I'm just going to come across one more time under a couple of these pieces. I just want to make a small wee little knot that no one's ever going to know is there, because we're not crocheting over this, we're crocheting around it. And then that gets stuck down in with your stuffing and forgotten about. So this is what you're going to do with all 4 of your legs, so that you can see the leg. It's not going to be on this side. You'll never see that again. So next leg, might have too much stuffing. Can get a little awkward to hold on to. So the next leg is going to be a little backwards. So count your 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you know where you're starting. And again, I started 1 over from where my yarn was. 3. And number 4 is the slip knot here. Now, because it's my slip knot from before, and I don't really want it to come undone, I'm just going to tie that. Actually, tie it in a double knot. You won't have to make a knot. Let's do it the smart way. Let's work smart, not hard. Little double knot, stick your stuff down in there. Stick your stuff in your filling. Now, just keep in mind, it doesn't really matter what this looks like, because you're going to be crocheting around the leg. So you're going to come from here and go around. You're not ever going to see that. It's going to be inside the doll. So we'll do the other back end here. And I'm going to do this in a little bit of fast motion. also doesn't matter how tight this is at all. Oh, I just sewed that on backwards. Oh my gosh, did I? Yeah, I just sewed this on backwards. Let me fix. I should probably pay closer attention to what I'm doing. So if you're like me and you're an idiot, how did I do that? Oh, because it got all turned around. It is a little hard to control, and even when we're going to start crocheting, it's going to be... I'm going to leave this blooper in the video too, by the way, so you can see how easy it is to make a mistake. Oh my gosh. It is awkward. It is very awkward to do. Seems like such a simple process, and then you go and you put it on backwards. But thankfully it can be fixed. Just about everything that could go wrong in crochet can be fixed. If it can't be, then I mean you just throw it out and start again. But generally I find, because I mean it's not my first mistake and it's probably not going to be my last mistake. I make all kinds, just like everybody else. There we go. That's a little bit of a smarter thing. So this is where our hook is going to go back in. So you can still sew in that area. So do the same thing. Don't let this little loop get in your way. You can still use it after. You just gotta make sure you don't sew it in. And trust me, this is gonna be all worth it. Because it's super duper cool to have a continuous build, so you don't have to sew your legs on and stuff like that. It's just such a pain in the butt, especially when you don't sew. So this is what it should look like. So here comes the awkward part. We're just going to do one single crochet. Let me get untangled here. So we're just going to do one single crochet in each stitch all the way around. Now when I did my other one I got 77 stitches. I don't know if you're going to get 77 stitches. I'm not sure how you sewed your legs on. Moving forward, this will be our numbers may or may not match, and it all depends on how you sewed your legs on. If you use the 4 stitches, then it all should work out fine. So we're going to put a stitch marker into this first stitch. And we are going to crochet around the leg, down the body bridge, around the leg, across. So we got to create stitches here, around the leg, down the body bridge, around the leg, and create stitches here. So this stitch that we just did, it'll be a little twisted from moving this around so much, but we're not going to end up using it. We're going to use this first stitch we put the marker into, but this weird stitch here, we're just going to create a stitch in place of that twisted one. There was no way of getting around the twisted stitch. So for the next 5 rows, you're just going to put one single crochet in each of these stitches. So going around and down. That makes sense. Around the leg and down the body bridge. It is very awkward until you start building it up a little bit, and then it's not so bad. So here, in this weird spot, you're just going to grab these 2 pieces. Where's my... Okay, well, I've lost my needle, but These, it's awkward already. I haven't even started. So when you get to this leg part, you're going to grab those 2 stitches for a stitch and put one in there, and then continue. That'll bring the leg and the body together. If you don't get caught on everything. And then just continue around. So I'm back around to my other leg. And again, we're going to have probably a weird spot where we gotta put a stitch in where a stitch shouldn't go. Only because we want to hold it together properly with no holes. So there's a couple of pieces of yarn right there. So make a stitch. If we bypass this, we will have a couple of small little holes, and I don't think you really want that. So we're just going to create stitches in those little crooks. Alright, here we are again where we're going to have to make a stitch. So there's a little wee spot here I can just force a stitch into, and then we need to create stitches. So just wherever you stick your hook into, you're going to create a stitch. I'm getting snagged on stuff. So wherever you just stick your hook in and create a stitch. And then another weird spot, you can just create a stitch like we did with those pieces of yarn, and then back to normal. You're going to need, for the rounds coming up, you're going to need a few stitch markers. So after you're done your 5 rows, well, 4 after this, because I'm doing this one with you, but you're gonna need, I'm gonna say 3 or 4, I don't remember. So we have another weird spot. So now one side of this body bridge is going to be part of what you chained. So it's going to leave a little bit of a bigger gap, but once it's all said and done, you're not really going to see that. So don't freak out about it. No way of getting around that either, so like I said, this is very awkward. And back to the other leg where I'm gonna put in a stitch, grabbing those 2 pieces of yarn. You know how every project has an awkward stage? Yeah, this is it for this one. After that, it's pretty, oh no, there might be a second awkward stage when we go to do its head. It can be a little awkward, but not as bad as this. This seems very awkward to me. I'm just gonna tuck my tail down in there so I don't snag. So we gotta put a fake stitch in here too somewhere, just to keep it symmetrical, and then create stitches all along here. Try not to go too low with them, like try to stay near the edge. So again, I don't know how many stitches you use to sew your legs on, and I don't know how many stitches you've created along the top, so giving you numbers is probably not going to work out. but I'll give you my numbers. So 77 stitches is what I had on my last one. I may or may not even have the same on this one. But go ahead, and you have 4 more rows to do. I just did this one with you. We need 5 altogether, and I will see you on the other side. So this is what it should look like. Now I had my first doll that I made, I had 77 stitches. This one I actually had 84. So even the numbers that I wrote down aren't going to work out. So we're going to need a couple of stitch markers. We need to start decreasing, but we're only going to be decreasing in a certain spot. And because our numbers are not going to match, we need to mark it for that certain spot. So we are decreasing starting with the butt. So we'll say your stitch marker up here is going to be your head and neck. So this guy's going to be your butt. On your butt, you're going to do two single crochet decrease. And I need you to do it 3 times. So we're going to start with our stitch marker probably way over here, but we've got to try to make it even. So 2 decrease, 2 decrease, 2 decrease. So here and here is where your stitch mark. Well, you don't need one over here, but put your stitch marker so that when you start doing your initial decrease, it's going to be even. So that's 1, 2 decrease. So use these 2 stitches. 1, 2 decrease, these 2 stitches. You need 4 stitches each sequence. 1, 2 decrease. So I'm going to end there. So I'm going to start there and I'm going to end there, which is just about even. If I move that over 1, I'm still going to be uneven. So as long as it's somewhat even, that you're going to decrease just in this part, and you're going to do 2 single crochet decrease 3 times. So you need 12 stitches. Counting this one, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So I'm going to end here with my decrease. So I won't be giving you numbers, ish. I won't even be giving you the numbers I had written down because mine aren't even the same as my first doll. So you're going to single crochet to this marker that we just put in. And that's fine, because if you make more than one of these dolls, then you're going to know how to find the spots that you need to decrease. So hence it being a tutorial. If I just told you numbers, I'm really not teaching you anything. We're only going to be decreasing the chest part once, or maybe twice, but I mean that's going to be the whole horse, not just the chest part, I don't think. I don't remember. I made this a few weeks ago. But the butt that's going to be our main focus for our decreases. So this marker's going to have to stay. Even if we're doing 1 single crochet in each stitch around, the marker still has to stay there because we're going to be going back to a decrease on the butt. And I'll tell you the reason for that later. So I'm at my stitch marker. I'm going to start my 2 single crochet decrease. So that's number 1. That's number 2, and then your decrease. And again, 2 single crochets and a decrease. 2 single crochets and a decrease. one more time. Did I say 3 or 4? Well, I'm doing 4 in a decrease. So from there to there, which is almost even, is your decrease. And then you can single crochet all the way back to your marker. My battery is going to die, so I will see you on the other side. Alright, so I'm back around. And so your next round is just going to be 1 single crochet in each of these stitches. I obviously had 74 written down from my last time, but I don't think that's going to be accurate anymore. But you know what? It doesn't screw my horse up, so that's why I keep trying to tell you guys, numbers are not that important. It still looks like a horse, regardless. So when I get to this marker, I'm not decreasing. I'm going to remove it and put it back in, and then continue with my 1 single crochet. We're not decreasing, but don't take the marker out and toss it aside. You need to put this back in. So I had 80. 1 single crochet in each stitch. I had 80 stitches. So we're going to 1 single crochet all the way over to this marker, and we're going to decrease the butt again, and then crochet back around. So we're just decreasing the butt. Sorry, I'm talking with a stitch marker in my mouth. So 1 single crochet in each stitch over to your butt marker. Alright, I'm at my butt marker. So for every single decrease that we do on the butt is going to be the exact same thing. So we're going to do 2 single crochet decrease, 2 single crochet decrease, and 1 more time. So this round will be 3 times. So now we need 12 stitches, which is what I was reading the last time when I meant 4 times. So this time is 3 times. For real. So that's number 1. That's 2 single crochets and then your decrease. And repeat. 1, 2, decrease. One more time. 1, 2, decrease. So, for my other horse, I was doing invisible decreases. I'll show you here, even though I don't need to do a decrease. But an invisible decrease is just using the first loop, the front loop, not the first loop, and then doing your decrease. So that's all it is. But in using, I've made the one horse using the invisible decrease, and it made absolutely no difference in the appearance. So that's why I'm not doing it for this one, because it did not, I cannot talk today, did not make any difference at all. So you can just single crochet back up to your chest, 1 single crochet in each stitch. So we're back around. This is what it should look like, which isn't much different than what it did. If you wanted to start putting stuffing into your legs and filling those up, just make sure that you are getting into the leg parts properly, because that's going to be the hardest part of your stuffing, is getting into this part of the leg properly. It's very super duper important that you do this right, because you're not going to get another chance, just like anything else that you make. But if you want this horse to stand up on his own, you need to make sure that this part of the leg is getting stuffed properly. Super duper important. I cannot stress it enough. Alright, so I've got my legs pretty solid, I would think. You're going to have to keep checking them, because stuffing might pop out as we go. So this round is just going to be one single crochet in each stitch all the way around. Again, take this out, do your stitch, put it back, because we're not done yet. And I will see you on the other side. So this round is going to be a little bit different. We are going to decrease the chest area and the butt area. So, sorry, first we'll do the butt. I know I say that weird, but. So, single crochet, one each stitch all the way around. Do you see, I just want to point out what a much better look you get not sewing the legs on but crocheting them on. Way better. So single crochet all the way around to your marker, and I will meet you there. So I'm back around to my marker. I'm going to do my 2 single crochet decrease twice. So that's number 1. That's number 2, and then your decrease, and then repeat 1, 2, and your decrease. And now let's stop this for a second. We're going to single crochet all the way back around, but now the front we need to do 2 single crochet decrease twice. This guy's going to have to move because we need to make this even for our decrease. So take him out. He doesn't matter anymore. You're going to need 2 stitch markers. This is going to be to signify where you started your decrease here, just so you know where to stop single crocheting. So we're going to do 2 single crochet decrease, and we're going to do it 2 times. So somewhere you need to have 8 stitches. So somewhere in the center. So that's 8 stitches. 2 single crochets, decrease, 2 single crochets, and a decrease. So now that I've found my 8 stitches that are in my center, I'm going to mark this guy. That's my number 1 stitch. And then I'm going to mark this guy. So he's the stitch after my decrease, so that's going to be my new starting and stopping point for the project. Do you get what I'm saying? So now, from ending this decrease, we're going to single crochet 1 in each stitch all the way up to this marker, and then we're going to stop. So hopefully all your markers are different colors, because they kind of need to be. So your yellow is your main starting and stopping point for your whole entire project, even though we just moved it. The purple marker is my butt marker, and the blue marker is my chest marker. That's not going to stay here forever. We just need to keep it here for now. We will be removing it and going back to just these two after. So 1 single crochet in each, all the way up to your chest marker. So once you learn how to do something like this, you can do it all by yourself. And it's going to be much, much better. And I know it might seem a little confusing, but actually with the markers, I'm trying to make it less confusing. But I can't make everybody happy, so please do not attack me in the comments. And yes, this will be a long video because I'm actually teaching you how to do something. I'm not just showing you how to make something. I'm teaching you how to do something. So I'm at my chest marker, and I need to do my 2 single crochet decrease. So that's number 1. That's 2 and a decrease. And again, one more time. That's 2 and a decrease. So now we're back to our starting and stopping marker. And our next round is going to be 1 single crochet in each stitch around. So as far as this guy, we're done with him. We don't need our chest marker anymore. That's all we needed him for. We still need our butt marker. So again, 1 stitch around in every stitch. Take this out, put it back in. So our next round is easy peasy as well. We're not just decreasing the butt, we're going to decrease all the way around. But I still need you to keep this in. So, I need you to do a, now you're probably not going to be able to, I don't know what your numbers are, but you're probably not going to be able to finish the sequence. But I want you to do a 5 single crochet decrease all the way around. Now if you have extra stitches over here when you come back around, just put 1 single crochet in each of them. If you can't finish your sequence, it's no big deal. I've never been able to finish my sequence, and my horse still looks fine. So 5 single crochet decrease. Number 1 is your marker. So that's 5 single crochets and then my decrease all the way around. So I can't finish my sequence as I figured, so I'm just gonna, the last 3 stitches, I'm just gonna put single crochets in them. So, move it along quite nicely. Your next round is going to be decreasing the butt again. So, 1 single crochet in each stitch till you get to your butt marker. So, in case you want to know, mine's 25 stitches from my main marker to my butt marker. It's 25 stitches. So you're going to do 2 single crochet decrease, and you're going to do it 2 times. It's always the same decrease with every single round, and I'll tell you why in a second why we're doing it. So that's 2 single crochets and then your decrease. And one more time. 1, 2 single crochets and then your decrease. So the reason why we're doing this is because we don't, it's continuous. So I need the hole to be closer to the head than the butt. I don't need the hole in the middle. I need to keep decreasing the butt to bring the hole over. Does that make any sense? That's why we're doing this. You'll see as we get deeper into this project, you'll see what I mean. So now I just want you to single crochet all the way back around to your main marker. So our next round is going to be, the whole entire thing is going to be 4 single crochet and a decrease all the way around. Again, go around this guy but put him back in, and when you get back to your marker, you're probably going to notice that you cannot finish the sequence. So just put whatever extra stitches you have, just put 1 single crochet in them. So 4 single crochet and a decrease all the way around. Again, I don't know what your numbers are, but I was able to do this 9 times. And then I still had to put 2 single crochets in at the end, but we'll see what happens. Markers number 1. That's 4 single crochets and then my decrease. So I'll do this all the way around and I will see you on the other side. So I'm back around and I only have 1 single crochet to put in there, not 2 this time around. So as you can see, our butt is coming in closer to here, which is what we want. So your next round is going to be from your main marker to your butt marker and then your decrease and then back around. So 1 single crochet to your butt marker. So that's 19 to my marker now. And again, I'm going to do 2 single crochets and a decrease 2 times. And now I just want you to do 1 single crochet back up to your main marker. And that's 23 back to my main marker. So your next round and the last round before we sew the butt up is going to be 1 single crochet in each stitch, and then we're going to come back and we're going to sew the butt. So this marker doesn't need to be in there anymore, so 1 single crochet in each stitch all the way around. So I have 48 stitches. Yours are probably not the same, could be the same, don't know if it's the same. So we need to start stuffing this guy because we need to start, we're going to do a little bit of sewing. We're not fastening off though, you're going to keep your thingy on. But be very careful on how you stuff this guy. He has to be stuffed properly. So, sorry, I'm wobbling. So I need you to just be cautious on how you stuff him. It's probably going to take some time to get him stuffed properly, and then I'll meet you back here and we can, especially the butt, and then I'll meet you back here and we can sew him up together. again, making sure these legs are properly filled. So, okay. I'm got mine stuffed as far as I want to stuff him. I just want to make sure his butt is stuffed. Keep in mind there's going to be a great big tail here too, so you need to get some weight for sewing, so you'll need another, use another roll or the outside. If you're pulling from the middle of a wound ball, then you can just use the outside. You're going to make a slip knot on one end, and on the other end you're going to thread. So go into your doll. Let me turn the light down a little bit just so it might be easier to see. So go into your doll from the inside out. Pull till you get to that slip knot, and then put your needle through the loop. And then pull. So now this tail just is going to get shoved into the stuffing, and you'll never see that again. So we are going to, we need to leave 18 stitches around this hole. So we're going to sew all the way up till we have 18 stitches. So I just want you to count 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Oh, that was a good guess. That's 18 stitches. So I'm going to put my stitch marker to hold these two ends together, and I'm just going to double count 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, and then the 2 stitches there, so I'm going to have to probably come down one more. So figure out where your 18 stitches is going to lie. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, close enough. And you're going to sew from here to here and close this up. But we're going to do it in a way where it's not going to be rude. It's going to be decently, you know, closed up. So there's a number of ways you can do this. You can use a mattress stitch, you can use a whip stitch, but either way you're going to go in. Oh, I already tangled and I haven't even started. You're going to go in one side and then the next side and then the next side. So this side, then the next side. That's kind of a whip stitch across the pond whip stitch. So you might have a little bump there, but keep in mind no one's ever going to see it once the tail goes on. So if you did a mattress stitch, you could probably get away with not having that. I don't know. I've never done a mattress stitch. I just did a whip stitch ish. I'm going under all 4 pieces, so a whip stitch is still back loop to back loop, but I am going under all 4, so technically it's not a whip stitch either. Sew it up any way you want to sew it up. With the wings and everything, you're not gonna see it. It's not gonna be noticeable. So it doesn't really matter. That's why I just chose to do a simple stitch. Well, I mean, not that everything else is not simple. Especially for me. I don't sew well, but a mattress stitch would probably look good. But again, you don't really need it to look good, because Wings are going here, tails going there. And this stitch isn't bad. It actually doesn't look that bad. So once you're up to your marker, I'm just going to go one more time. I want to do a little wee knot that you're not going to see. It's going to be the smallest of smallest knots. But I'm going to wiggle back and forth, so I tighten that knot right down. And then I'm going to weave, just like we do with everything else that we make, we weave. So I'm going to weave, and that knot gets sucked right in there, so you don't see it. So you can weave as much as you want, or as little as you want. It's completely up to you. I'm not done stuffing this yet, so I'm just going to continue to weave toward the back, because that's where most of my stuffing is. I gotta finish what I was doing. See, that didn't even get into the stuffing at all. So if you feel like you've pulled too tight, oh my gosh, I feel like I got two left hands. You can just pull it out a bit. I'm putting stuffing in this, so it doesn't really matter. And that is how we do a continuous. So now we have our head hole. And that's my stitches. So, not bad. They don't look that bad at all. I'm going to turn my light back up. And I'm going to finish stuffing this. And this is probably all the time we have for this video. So we'll get started on the head in part 2. Thanks for joining me, guys. I'll see you in part 2.